Cory Booker held in his pee for 25 hours only to shit the bed. They're all bought and paid for.
What do they have on you, Cory Booker? The fact that you like men? We already know that you like men. So why do you keep siding with the other side? That's what I want to know. Why? Is it the money? Do they have a tape of you bending over or bending someone over? And is not a woman? We already know that you're homosexual. We already know that. Hell, I'm a gay man myself, and guess what, brother? I game no game, and I'm an old gay man, just like you an old gay man. So I know game versus game, homeboy. So you need to really turn that shit off. Go sit down somewhere, and guess what? You will never get voted in again. We're done with you. We're done. We're done. We're done. So you sat there and didn't shit, didn't piss, didn't sleep for 25 hours, then turned around and shit it all over yourself. Boy, self-sabotage will always get you because you hate yourself because you're a big old homosexual and you can't even step out and be a man and say this is what you are. Trying to think people thinking that you and Rosario Dawson are dating.
This convicted felon just became America's ambassador to France. Charles Kushner, father of Trump's son-in-law Jared, secured Senate confirmation this week despite his criminal past. In 2005, Kushner pleaded guilty to 18 charges, including tax evasion and witness tampering. He even hired a sex worker to seduce his brother-in-law, secretly recorded it, and sent the footage to his sister. After serving 14 months in prison, Kushner was pardoned by Trump in December 2020, during his final days in office. Fast forward to May 2025, and the Senate confirmed him 51-45, with only one Democrat crossing party lines to support him.
Senator Cory Booker broke from the Democratic Party to confirm convicted felon Charles Kushner, father of Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, as the new U.S. ambassador to France. Booker was the only Democrat. What the fuck, guy? The only Democrat to vote for the elder Kushner's nomination. Kushner was convicted in 2005 for tax evasion, illegal campaign donations to the Democratic Party, and witness tampering. He even went so far as to retaliate against his sister, who was a cooperating witness against him, by paying a schmegs worker to seduce her husband and film it. Bro. That whole 25 hours on the floor filibustering, I beat a racist record, just to turn around and vote this POS in? I don't know, man. I don't know. Still a national disgrace if you ask me.
Mr. Kushner pled guilty. He admitted the crimes. And so what am I supposed to do as a prosecutor? I mean, if a guy hires a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law and videotapes it and then sends the videotape to his sister to attempt to intimidate her from testifying before a grand jury, do I really need any more justification than that? I mean, it's one of the most loathsome, disgusting crimes that I prosecuted when I was U.S. attorney.
I just called Cory Booker's office. I actually got a human response from his assistant. That's refreshing. He said that he voted for him because of his work with reforming prisons and helping millions of prisoners. I'd actually buy this BS response if the position had anything to do with prison reform. What does the ambassador of France have to do with prison reform? What's he gonna do? Hand out fucking croissants to ex-cons? You know what I mean? And if the work of prison reform is so important to Charles Kushner and makes such a big difference, why doesn't he do something in that sector? What does the ambassador of France have to do with that? And Cory Booker wants to say, oh, he played such an important role in the bill we passed during Trump's first administration, as if this is the same administration. A lot of shit has gone down between Trump's last administration and the one we are currently living in today. There's a lot of new players. So yeah, I don't buy this shit at all. But Cory tried though. He really did.
So a while ago, Cory Booker stood up and did something historic, but I questioned it. Cory Booker, the guy who voted to ban TikTok and then looked us in the eye and was like, oh, it's for your own good. I can't tell you why, but it's for your own good. He stood up and he gave his speech all while sending campaign emails. So, like, I'm doing good, but also donate. So, like, I got called a racist, I got called hateful, I got called questionable, I've been problematic for so long, I've had to block her. I said what I said. And I meant it. I didn't pull my video, and I didn't apologize because Cory Booker is not who Cory Booker was. Yesterday, he voted to confirm Jared Kushner's dad. Now, the man is a convicted felon, but he got pardoned by Trump and is now going to be the ambassador to France. The only Democrat to vote for him yesterday was Cory Booker. And people are like, oh, maybe he's problematic. Oh, was I fucking right? Oh, wait. It wasn't about race. It was the fact that Cory Booker used to be something. He is no longer that thing. He is the same shape and size and look of that thing. He's not that thing anymore. He went from the guy who was really trying to be on our side to the guy who does shit things and then gets on camera and talks about how it's for the good of people and he gets a pass. Shaped like somebody on our side. Hasn't been on our side in quite a while. Votes to ban TikTok. Gets on here, looks us dead in the eye and is like, oh, it'll never happen. And then it does, which he knew was going to happen. But then for all the ways they try to save TikTok, he's standing to the side of that group being like, yeah, let's fight the power. Let's make sure that TikTok stays. The thing I voted for. I know this TikTok ban is terrible. Yeah, the thing you fucking voted for. At least look me dead in the eye and be like, that was a fatty campaign check and I needed it. I would take that over whatever the bullshit is you're spinning. You want to know why he voted for Jared Kushner's dad, a felon, a guy who's going to represent us in one of the sweetest ambassador jobs available? You should look out the ambassador residence of France. It doesn't suck. Because Jared Kushner's dad is one of the guys who bankrolls his run for president. He owes that guy. He owes Jared Kushner's dad a favor. And yesterday, being the only Democrat I don't like being right about Cory Booker because he was one of the few politicians that I actually did like. And while he wasn't perfect, while he was in Newark, he was as good as he could be and really did seem like he was going to try. And then, politics happens and you get bankrolled by a Kushner. And then, eventually that call comes back. If he would just stand up and explain it, if he would just say out loud, hey, I wanted to be president, this guy cut me a check, and now I had to give him this. Okay. But when your constituents, when your voters, when your supporters are up in your comments begging you to explain what the fuck happened, why you were the only Democrat to vote, and you do that thing you do where you just don't happen to see any one of those comments, I'm not thrilled that he's not on our side anymore. It's why I believe that term limits are necessary. Because at a certain point, you owe too many people too many favors because they have donated too much to your campaign for you to be able to say no to them when it comes down to something like this. And what, did the Kushner family maybe $5 million to Trump, whereas the Jared Kushner made almost $1 billion the last time he was helping Trump fix the Middle East? What did Kushner give to Cory to run for president? $3 million? Drop in a fucking bucket for the money he's about to make in France. Because he's not going there to taste brie and shake hands. I mean, he will. But a couple $1 million to Cory Booker for a presidential run, plus waiting 5+ years for a moment like this, they're playing the long game, and we're cheering every once in a while when they throw us.
Cory Booker. That is a weeks-old video where I describe exactly why Cory Booker does what Cory Booker does. So, whenever the left is ready to listen and learn strategy, you go ahead and get at me. Booker. Why would Cory Booker vote to approve Donald Trump's choice for ambassador to China? I told everybody a couple months ago, and here it is. Something I don't think most people understand in lobbying is that they do something called a vote counter. They basically see how close they are to the probability of getting something passed. But the thing is some lobbyist groups have multiple things that they're interested in, right? So say I started one called JPAC, and I'm 5 votes away, and I'm paying people from both parties, right? Now, I'm going to go to ones that do not want to necessarily vote yes on something, okay? And say, hey, this time you need to. And they'll do. That's why you're so disappointed in so many Democrats, because they get lobbied into voting for something they know that you, the constituent, isn't going to like, but then they get a break a couple other go-rounds. So they might say, yeah, I voted on the continuing resolution, but I didn't vote on the Lake and Riley Act. So it's just Cory's turn. And wait until you find out about Elisa Slotkin, because she's going to disappoint the fuck out of you guys, but keep paying creators that don't know shit about anything to go fucking wherever, because this party's fucking toast. Peace.
This is what I'm talking about, Dems, right here. Great example of why we need to quickly abandon the Democratic establishment and let our wariness be heard very loudly. And why you need to read that new Joe Biden book, Original Sin. This establishment will lead us into fascism 10 times out of 10. They are completely impotent, and that's because they're really not overly concerned with what system of government we have, what happens to the American people, as long as their position in that system is secure. So remember, Jared's daddy helped fund his 2002 campaign. Something like this, that's all it took. This Jared Kushner's dad literally blackmailed his own sister by setting up her husband with a worker and filming the whole thing. Went to jail, was pardoned by Trump in 2020. What do you think his vision of America is? You think that really weighed on Cory Booker? No, it didn't, because they will always preserve their self-interest before anything else. That is a fact, and we're seeing it with multiple Democrats. They see the writings on the wall, and looks to me like they think electoral politics might not be a thing for much longer. So might as well shore up your position, right, Cory? Really fucking disappointing, I'll point out. I was inspired by that filibuster and him taking down Strom Thurmond, but he's proven everybody right who said it was performative. At the end of the day, none of it matters, and none of it will matter until we make our voices loudly heard.
Cory Booker is not what's wrong with the Democratic Party. Sorry to tell you, he's not. He's not. Chuck Schumer's not. Going back, the Senecas and the Wallaces, they're not either. Right now, when you really think about it, as hard as it is for people to digest, Donald Trump is the only one being real right now. He's been true to who he is from day one. Same racist, same misogynist, same crook, same swindler, con man, scam artist, padding his pockets, padding his family's pockets, padding the wealthy's pockets, marginalizing the marginalized communities further, finding every way to put bigoted legislation in place. He's been true to who he was, unapologetically. Meanwhile, you've got all these nuance of people hiding behind these narratives of, I'm a centrist, I'm a moderate, I'm a leftist, whatever the case may be, and then none of their actions bear out who they truly are. And upon this latest fallout, when people are calling out Cory Booker again, here we are. Now, they had an emergency Democrat meeting, and everybody is in there, and people are yelling and calling each other out, and you're ruining it for us, and we're not going to be ready for midterms. Cory Booker got up there with his smug, performative ass, trying to explain himself and talking right in, and while he was talking, somebody yelled, "Shut up, motherfucker!" Then Bernie Sanders got mad and got up on the microphone. All right. We cannot have this kind of discourse at this time. What we need is to rally together. We cannot have this at a time adversity breeds character. What we need to know right now is who is calling our fellow Democrat a motherfucker. Stand up right now. So he's all pissed off and everybody's yelling. We need to calm down. Because they don't know who called him, and Cory Booker's mad and everybody's trying to figure out. And he's like, we need to know right now who is calling our fellow Democrat a motherfucker. And then a lonely House representative new to the Senate stands up, and he stands up and he goes, I apologize, Mr. Sanders. I apologize. I think it's been misunderstood. I did not call our fellow Democrat a motherfucker. What I said was, who called that motherfucker a Democrat?
I already made a tongue-in-cheek video about Senator Cory Booker and how he came to an event at this conference that a bunch of my content creator friends were attending for the last couple of days here in Washington, D.C., and he proceeded to insult their intelligence and tell them that they just don't understand stuff. The same stuff that they message on every day on their platforms, that they message on so fucking well that the Democratic Party is bringing them out to these events to schmooze them and try to get them to, continue to message on their points because they need some fucking help this election cycle because they're not good at this shit, but I digress. And then looked at one of these content creators and then said, hey, you saying that I should support a ceasefire is supporting Hamas. Like, why do y'all keep playing in our faces? And then I see a video of Hillary Clinton circulating right now where she's saying that young people just don't understand history. They just don't understand things. And y'all can't be this fucking stupid at this point to think that some of us don't have fucking day jobs. Like, y'all should know better by now. If you have all this intelligence in the world, didn't your intelligence maybe tell you what some of us fucking do for a living, that some of us work here in Washington, D.C., that some of us are also lawyers, that some of us also do this shit day by day, and we're not just pulling shit out of our asses, and that we know exactly what the fuck is going on? Like, some of us with the last name Booker had to get our jobs based on meritocracy, not a popularity contest because we have all these rich connections thanks to our executive parents, right? Like, some of us had to get it out the mud. Some of us had to come here and interview and get these jobs here in D.C., and we actually have to do our jobs
jobs because we are subject to performance reviews. We are subject to being fired. But you get to keep your ass in your seat without ever doing a fucking thing as long as you keep taking over $700,000 from some sketchy ass pecs and winning your popularity contest. So I'm just gonna need y'all to slow your motherfucking roll.